All right. What are we talking about?
Let's see. We've got a lot of reviews to do.
I know.
Start with the first Mardi Gras.
Well, I think at this point, maybe we should compare because, like, I'm all jumbled up.
So here's the deal. We've got 5 cruises in 6 weeks. We're down here in Melbourne Beach, going to Port Canaveral and Port Everglades down in Fort Lauderdale. We started off with the new big carnival ship, the Mardi Gras, and then back to some of our favorites like Liberty and Carnival Freedom. And then we just got off of Royal Caribbean's Liberty of the Seas. And it is kind of all jumbled together, isn't it?
Yeah. So
you want to do a quick oversight of just our impressions on Mardi Gras? And then...
Well, let's do the overview. I mean, you just did the overview. Okay, yeah. So Mardi Gras. Well, we can talk about, I mean, how all they were different, though. So, like, Mardi Gras was a 7-day...
7-day cruise. The other ones are 3- and 4-day cruises.
Yeah.
But was not.
Mardi Gras is a brand new ship.
It had a lot of brand new issues. A lot of issues.
Well, it still had that new ship smell. We'll talk about the smell.
Well, that's better than the old ship smell we're going to tell you about on the other Carnival ships. But the way it was designed, one of the great things about the Oasis class when that came out is you didn't feel like you were on a ship that big with people, the way they have it laid out. Carnival went a different direction in that the new wider ships, Biggie Smalls. That's Biggie. He took his bells off, so he's not ringing as much. But say hi. Hello, everybody. I see what they're trying to do with the floor plan of Mardi Gras. They kind of snake it through the width of the ship rather than back and forth like Royal does. So there was choke points. Every time you ran around a corner, it just wasn't quite wide enough. So there was always clusters going on.
Not enough elevators.
Not enough elevators. And the elevators seemed smaller than other Carnival ships. And I heard a couple of people mention you would think they would have bigger elevators, but elevators were always an issue. I would say, unless it's late at night or something, the majority of the time elevators were a bit of a wait.
Or just so small. Like if somebody came in with a scooter, you can't even get around.
Boarding day was just crazy because you could get 3 couples in there with their luggage.
With all your luggage.
At the very most. And then there were little things too, which you would think they would know is an issue and could fix, but the automatic doors, it was a crapshoot. Literally a roll of the dice every time you approached an automatic door if it was going to open or not. In fact, we're going to have a short video with all of the times. It happened so often I started videotaping it because it was so funny. It's like, are you going to open? Are you going to? Bam! Fun crowd though. Carnival has fun crowds. I met so many people on that ship. The smoking lounge is always laid out great on Carnival. They set up conversation pits. We'll talk about the difference on the Royal ships when we get to that later on. But my overall thing, it was too crowded, not laid out correctly. The automatic doors, it was just a whole bunch of little ticky-tack little things that they'll be able to fix in the future.
Okay, but I think some of the good things about Mardi Gras were the free food options for dinner and lunch.
Yes, yeah.
So you could go to Cucina, which is Italian,
and that was free.
In
the afternoons, right?
They had lunch and dinner.
For free.
Yeah, it's a pay restaurant for dinner on some of the other ships, but not on Mardi Gras. And then the Chibang, which is a fusion between Asian and Mexican. I went Asian, and I liked what I ordered, but you didn't like.
I didn't like the Asian selections. They didn't have it. It was more foo-foo sort of Asian stuff. It wasn't like,
but
General
Tso or Mexican, and you didn't like it.
I didn't like that either.
I thought it was good.
I like the concept. I just think the food was.
It was fun too. They had that dragon thing go through the room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They had a Chinese dragon, and it was like really
Like from a
with
parade.
like 8 guys and gals going through that. that was entertaining. Yes.
Yeah, that was fun. And then the Guys Pig and Anchor barbecue.
That's an advantage plate. Guys, Pig and Anchor. Is it branded Guys or is it just Pig and Anchor? It is branded Guys.
Uh-huh.
It's up above it's up above
It's in the
market
aft, and it's above. It's way in the back.
What do they call their buffet thing? It was above that, wasn't it? You go up the steps from where the buffet area was.
No, it was on deck 8. The buffet was up higher.
There was something that was below that had food that you would then go up to.
Dining rooms. I don't know.
Huh. Anyways, nobody's up there. It's great food. Just staples, pulled pork, beef brisket, mac and cheese, which, oh man, I whipped that down.
Yeah.
But there's no wait. And every time we went by there was literally no wait during feeding time.
But then at dinner time, you use your app to say, we're coming. Basically, all the free restaurants, you put in the app that you're coming.
And that was cool too. That was really cool. So you just walk up and go right in. Yeah.
We'll tell you how much the wait was going to be, and it was pretty much always like nothing. So that was convenient.
Yes.
I'm trying to get the other things that I liked about Mardi Gras.
The arcade on Mardi Gras was one of the best kids training casino I've ever seen. They even had the pusher machine. Sorry, no quarters, so it's not gambling. It was tokens. But it was fun. It was loud. It was louder than the casino. You had to leave, right, when I was doing the video of the arcade.
No, that was a different arcade.
Oh, on a different ship?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
But no.
It's all becoming blurred.
It wasn't. It was the week after that. Last week. Not last week, week before last. Anyhow. The casino. Very modern, very large.
Best.
Nice casino.
Best ship casino I've ever seen. In one of the sections where some of the tables are laid up, it's up against a window, so you have a view out over the ocean, lots of light coming in. The way they had the tables set up, it wasn't like here's the table and it's all roped off inside this pin area. You could walk between the tables. It was very comfortable, feeling very relaxed. Dealers were incredible. Some of the best dealers I've ever run into. The pit bosses were all great, really friendly. Overall, I would say it's the best ship casino I've ever played in.
Yeah, for sure. They did a good job at the casino.
Except for the table limits.
Well, that was a Carnival.
The 3-2 Blackjack on the Carnival ships is a $25 minimum, which is it's just a little too steep for the casual traveler, because if you're going to be playing that sort of minimum bet, you're going to want to bring at least $2,500 to.
Make it through the week.
And especially with Blackjack, the trick is never running out of money, because in the end it's going to be 50-50. You shouldn't lose or win too much anyway.
Yeah. I'm trying to think ship specifically. Oh, I lost it.
Oh, and also on the Mardi Gras casino, you can smoke in it, but the smoking section is now like the non-smoking section used to be. It takes
size-wise.
Yeah, it takes up a smaller footprint than the regular, which is fine with me.
Yeah.
I'd rather have people having fun rather than people not playing because of all the smoke.
About, yeah.
I still don't understand the families that bring their teeny little kids through the casino and then they complain all the way through.
Yeah, you don't have to walk through the casino.
Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, you don't have to walk through the casino. There's other floors to go.
Exactly. Okay. What else about Mardi Gras? Embarkation. And debarkation.
I'm trying to remember on Mardi Gras.
It was a cluster.
Mardi Gras, we got there. We try to get there early, but we arrived midday, a little past our boarding time. And the funny thing was, as a side note, I'd finally reached platinum, so I was all excited about getting platinum boarding and not having to wait in the cattle call. Well, it turns out Carnival had not reinstated platinum boarding until the following week.
Right.
And then there was the story behind that.
So yeah, boarding 6,000 passengers. The terminal's nice, the new Terminal 3.
It is nice. With the small elevators and
yeah. And then debarkation was kind of a cluster too. I mean, it was just like so packed, and then in order to get a porter, I had to go all the way to the other side of where the luggage is and wait by this door for them to come in. And then our luggage was on the other side, so we had to walk back through there.
So that is another advantage, play SeaRollers. Use the porters.
It's worth it.
I don't know why so many people
worth it.
don't utilize them.
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta tip them. $3 to $5 depends however many. You know, you're supposed to tip $1 a bag or something, but
and that's been
usually give them
around for a long time. I mean, I think we should
$5.
be up to it, and because they do. I mean, it's heavy bags, and I think too at the time, you know, the more they can get back and forth, the more money they make, and if you're, you know, and they'll make. That's the one thing. Was it that ship when we got off? We tipped the porter.
No, when we got on.
Or when we got on, and then they'll make sure.
I think that was in another video.
Bag goes to the front.
Yeah.
That's the other reason they use the porter. Your bag will not be lost. It will have a greater chance.
Yeah, I like handed him a $5, and then I had came over to where you were standing and rearranging yourself, and he made it a point to come and ask me which bags were mine. So I think it does matter. Dropping food.
You want a popcorn?
If if they happen to notice, it matters.
Yeah.
Mardi Gras. Oh, we had a cove balcony on deck 6. So it's kind of, I mean, it's basically a balcony, except it's like inside the hull of the ship. So the opening is just like an opening. I don't know how else to
And we don't
explain
use the
it.
balconies that much anymore. So,
But it was nice.
Mhm.
Deck 6. I mean, even though it was deck 6, it felt like it was really close to the water.
yeah. And that cruise was a comp from their casino, was it?
Yeah, that was a casino comp.
And did we get any other perks with that?
That one.
That was free Wi-Fi, wasn't it?
No. That one was we
Casino
had the
cash.
200. Yeah, we had the 200. It was 200 and 200. 200 casino cash and then a $200 onboard credit because the offer was you get to keep your deposit.
And the interesting thing, we had never
Obviously.
seen this before, but when we went to the cage to get our casino cash, they literally,
Different casino. We're still talking about Mardi Gras.
I thought they gave you cash.
No, Mardi Gras. It was on your card.
Okay.
So
So if you're a table player, what's the best way to get that 200 back? You just put it on your bank and then check out.
If I'm a table player,
And you get your
I'd go
casino cash.
you mean if it's on the card?
Yeah.
I would go to a video poker machine, put it all on there, play 10 hands.
Or you can just play one and put it back.
They're pretty.
They check that?
Yeah, I've heard of them not liking when people do that. And then cash ticket, and then you got your money for your.
Now for table players, they do it differently on Royal Caribbean, and we'll tell you about that later.
And then I'm trying to think if that's.
The nightclub.
And then just kind of locate, just cabin location in general. The deck 6 is fine.
Mm-hmm.
We were all the way in the aft, which on that kind of a ship makes a difference. It was good that we were near the elevator, so that helped. But if you want to go to the theater, you have to remember to allow like 10 minutes to get there because it's so far away.
Yeah.
So on that class of ship, it definitely matters where you go from front to back.
Know what venues you're going to want to be using the most. Like, do you go to the theater all the time? Do you have kids, or do you like the water park and the action? And then choose a room that's going to be closest and most convenient to the places you use most often.
Yeah.
And on a ship that big, it makes a difference.
It makes a big difference.
How many steps you walk each day?
Yeah, but I don't think they didn't have 3 banks of elevators though.
No, I don't think they.
It's just 2.
Or, you know what? I don't think they had a mid bank.
Yeah.
Because in their midsection with the new with that.
The middle one was the one that came up to that what do they call it? That theater in the middle of the.
Yeah, it's replaced the round rotunda or whatever thing. Anyway,
but it's basically a theater.
Right, but there wasn't elevators right there.
Mm-hmm.
There was, so there is a middle elevator.
Was there another one at the?
I think so.
At the end beyond there.
It's all blurred. Too many cruises.
Yeah, too many cruises, but. Anyway,
nightclub was fun.
Either way, I think those elevators would be the ones to be close to for the most convenience to go places.
Yeah. And
on either end.
If you enjoy comedians when you're on your cruise ships, you got to do Carnival. I mean, they have they have more performances of comedians.
They had so
3 times a day, 5 times a day, and they switched out the comedians. It was 7-day, but just. Comedy is so popular nowadays. I don't know why Royale hasn't changed what they do, and we'll tell you about what they do with comedians.
Yeah. Now, so comparing the XL class, which is Mardi Gras, so it's like 6,000 passengers, to Liberty and Freedom, which are about 3,000 passengers. I think Carnival Liberty and Carnival Freedom I love the layout of that class.
Yeah, and I hadn't been on a tiny ship
It's not tiny. It's 110 gross tons. I think they're medium sized.
That's tinier than the Mardi Gras. I hadn't been on one of those that you could feel the ocean move.
Well, we felt the ocean on Mardi Gras though.
Not that.
I was surprised at how much I could feel the ocean. Yes, I was. It was wavy though. Mm-hmm. It was like stormy or.
I think you're thinking of another ship.
No, it was the Mardi Gras. It was wavier than I thought it was going to be, so I was surprised. What else? So our other 2. So the 7-day Mardi Gras.
Oh well, food. We want to know about main dining room.
Yeah.
We had very on-point service.
Not on Mardi Gras. Service was kind of iffy. Remember the dinner in Cucina? The first night we went to the main dining room.
I was talking about the main dining room service.
The first night we went to the main dining room was terrible.
Oh, you're right. Yes. Okay. I was thinking of another cruise where they were. Nightclub was nice. Good nightclub. Again, Carnival pizza, the best.
Yeah.
And pizza's open till 4 a.m.
And the sandwich shop, which I only had once because there was always a line.
They have a sandwich shop like Royale has their deli, but they did a little differently. All of the sandwiches were already pre-prepared, so you'd order your sandwiches and then they just pop it. They don't make it right there because that slows down.
And it's right there on that Deck 8 promenade in the kind of midship area. So
that's when she broke our family tradition of going to guys first when we get on board.
We didn't go to guys first.
I know we didn't.
On any of these cruises.
You broke the tradition. You broke the tradition on Mardi Gras.
Well, because you can go to guys every day.
Oh, and the guys on this class ship, it's not just a little thing you walk up. It's a real restaurant, and they have a system to stay in line that's not all crazy.
I didn't like it though.
You didn't?
No, because I felt like.
Oh, you like it on the Lido deck with the party going on?
Yeah, it was too closed up though. Too.
It was like going into a restaurant almost. Yeah.
It was hot. I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't like the layout of it. You're always cold, so.
Perspective, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, the food, the Cucina lunch was good.
It was really good.
The food was good and the service was good at lunch. dinner, I wouldn't have. I mean, we didn't go back, but I wouldn't go back.
The theater where they have their comedy is just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect, wonderful, wonderful room. I always like to roll in right when it's starting because you can always go to the sides and usually get up towards the front with some wide open seats so you don't need to sit down in front.
No, I'm good.
And I like to become part of the show. Throw some
So yeah, conquest class. So Carnival Liberty and Carnival Freedom. So we did a 3-day over Thanksgiving that had one port, and then we did a 4-day
on Freedom.
a couple weeks later, right?
Yeah. The Liberty was the first conquest we did after.
Yeah, on Freedom, which went to Nassau and Princess Cays.
And I just like being on that smaller ship. It was just,
yeah,
it was interesting to see the compare and contrast on that. The ship definitely moved, which I enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of motion.
That was that
the
on
second
Liberty
one,
or
yeah. When did
Freedom?
the second one? Because you said to me you felt the ship moving the other day.
Well, we were at dinner one time and the wine glass.
Yeah.
Oh, that was on Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one, Freedom.
Oh, so when we did the second one going on Liberty, just our schedule required us to not do our typical. We always were of the mindset we want to roll up, we want to get on board as soon as we can to squeeze every single hour out of whatever
the fare
the fare is. Well, we just happened on Liberty. We rolled up just an hour before boarding closed.
I had to work,
and I gotta tell you, it's an advantage play. We rolled up to Port Canaveral. We parked literally across the street from the terminal. So you pull in, there's porters just waiting. There's only one other car pulled up to drop off their luggage. Porter grabs our stuff. We zip across the street, go park, walk back over, and we're literally run through check-in.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we were slowing things down because it was just boom, 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 and then we get held up as usual with security and
we weren't going to be late.
Threats and all the equipment I carry.
Yeah.
But we even went through that pretty good too. It was the Mardi Gras where we shut down the security gate. Yeah, you had some things in your bag. So we're going through this, and I'm always at issue with making sure I have everything out in my pockets, and our bags start going, and they stop the scanner, and they start asking, and I carry I've got a microphone. It's shaped like this. It's in a bag, and then all the cords are on. I've been stopped for it before. But as soon as they detected that, I'd never seen this before, all of a sudden they shut down our check-in gate.
Yeah.
All of these officials start gathering around. There's a guy with a notepad, and they're asking us all these questions. I don't think you didn't even notice what all that was going on.
No, because I was already in front of you, and I was just getting my stuff back rearranged.
And so then they had another question about something in my bag, and then there was something in yours, in a shoe or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
it was shoes.
That was just
it was weird.
An irritation. But
yeah.
Arriving late, rolling up at the last minute, literally run through check-in on board. When we came on board the ship, it wasn't like when you are boarding typically and there's a whole bunch of people in the main lobby and everything. It just looked like you walked into the lobby and it was a regular, part of the crew. So that's something to consider.
And even though when you're platinum on Carnival, you can go put your bags in your room. You can go before the rooms are ready.
Yeah, and just open those doors.
But getting there later and the room is totally ready.
Yeah,
you don't have to leave your bags, go do something, come back.
That was the thing on Mardi Gras. We could bring our bags and all of our stuff into our room before other people could. But you do have to open the doors will be closed, but if you have that privilege, you're allowed to go ahead and open those closed doors to get down.
Fire doors
or something like that. Yeah.
So what else? Carnival Freedom.
This is the third cruise.
Yes, is the one that had a fire.
Oh, it's
I don't know, 6 months ago.
They haven't fixed the fantail.
Yeah, so it doesn't have a whale tail. It has the thing that kind of like Costa has.
And you would think that Carnival...
And it doesn't have a new livery. So it just looks old.
Yeah. Oh, and that was the first thing when we got on the Liberty. The Freedom also suffered from this too, but the Liberty, it appeared just old and tired and worn out. But it was like small things that any ship, regardless of how old it is, should be taken care of. You know, the tile in the bathrooms, the grout. I mean, I could just get some of the junk off. But there was just a lot of.
You notice stuff like that, though. I don't really notice the little things like you do.
The point is, it's dirty, but it's not. It's dirty because they're not maintaining it like they do a new ship. A new ship, they would never let, the stall separator have actual nails in it to keep it from flopping around. And
oh, that was in the men's restroom. You told me about that.
yeah, it was. And some things that, like, there was stuff on the wall in our room that I could just take my finger and rub off. It's like, take care of what you have, then it won't appear bad in the smell.
Oh yeah, the smell.
We've heard about the smell before, but
we've smelled the smell before on smaller ships.
And it's in the middle. And it's on every floor. It's in the entire middle of the ship.
I think it was worse in the.
It was worse towards the bottom, but you could
Yeah.
still smell it in that section. So something's going on with their sanitation system or something on I-95 back there.
Yeah. So midship, especially on the lower two decks, they have those inside cabins with no window or.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that would be.
So yeah, I would not recommend getting. I ate it all. I told you I was hungry.
I guess so.
That was 2 hours ago. I would not recommend a lower deck midship cabin, even though that's the best place to be for motion.
Mm-hmm.
But that smell, if your room was there,
It smelled like a toilet.
you would have to smell the room. You would have to smell it like all the time.
Yeah. And I'm surprised that, we've heard people complain about it for years.
Yeah.
And you would think there'd be something
They can do
mechanically they could do.
You would think. But yeah, it was bad. Let's see, ports.
On Mardi Gras, we did Bimini.
No, Mardi Gras, go back. San Juan,
Oh, yeah.
Dominican Republic, and Grand Turk.
That's right. And we got off at San Juan. I just love the old downtown area, and it's great for photography, and the colors on the buildings, and the people are so friendly there.
We went to a couple stores too. I mean, it's kind of the U.S. I mean, we went to a drugstore.
Tell them what happened at the drugstore.
Oh yeah.
It's a Walgreens or CVS, and it's full of people.
Yeah, the line was super long.
It was the first stop, so everybody is like, realizing what they
least.
needed.
And I finally get to a cash register, and a guy walks up and says, "I'll buy your stuff if you would let me put my stuff with your stuff."
Advantage play.
Are you serious? And he's like, yeah. So,
And that was an advantage play for us and an advantage play for him.
I mean, if you got kind
What's
of
your time? You gotta always ask yourself. You always tell me, what's your time worth?
Yeah, so I was like, okay, cool. I mean, he bought us, I don't know, it was like $30 worth of stuff. And then we went to Marshall's. They have a Marshall's there. And actually,
I bought these pants here, and I thought I was getting a great deal because I like cargo pants for traveling because I can put all my stuff in my pockets that I later have to dig out going through security. But it was really cheap. They're on sale, and I get home, and it was cheap because all of the buttons. I mean, all of the buttons.
No buttons.
All of them, and the one button in the front that was hanging by a thread. So.
Yeah. So I had to tell him, ladies, you probably know this. There's a reason why things are at Marshall's. You have to be careful sometimes. So yeah, we had a nice little walk, and then I don't know why we didn't get off in the DR. We just not feel like it or something.
No, were some people up late in the casino and shutting it down on that one night? That happened a few times.
That was it. And then unfortunately, Grand Turk isn't letting unvaccinated people in yet, so we did not get off there. But as with the Oasis class ships, the ship can be your destination on the Mardi Gras because it is big. There's lots of stuff to do. There's different places to eat. and on and on. So,
and it saves you money from buying a shore excursion too.
yeah. The embarkation and disembarkation or debarkation on the 2
Which two?
Conquest class ships was better.
Than Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Just, sheer numbers, I'm sure, is why, even though both of those ships were full, because I actually asked at guest services. And so they just, they've got some kinks to work out with the Mardi Gras from start to finish.
Yes. Be interested to go on the celebration. Was it Tony just got off of that?
No,
in
it was
Ship Life?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And so you wonder if they had time to fix any of those problems with celebration, or will
I
have to
heard
wait
that
till
they fixed the automatic door problem.
Oh, okay, good.
That would be.
No, the other thing too about the
start.
automatic door problem was if the door didn't open, the button that you had to push was literally it was a button that big. So missed it.
And the whole point is to not have to touch things.
Touch stuff.
Didn't make any sense. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, and then on those we just had regular window cabins, which are very spacious.
Now the first one, the Liberty, had the big window. I could actually sit up there, right?
Oh yeah, the window was bigger. You're right.
Yeah, I could get up in the window.
On the Liberty.
Now the Freedom Room, it was the same concept, but that space was not quite as wide.
Or the window was just smaller.
No, the space, it was, I couldn't fit up in there like I could on the other one.
The bed in Mardi Gras.
That was okay.
So here's the thing, while we're talking about the size of the room, the window cabins we had on the older 2 ships were wider than the balcony cabin on Mardi Gras.
These new balcony cabins,
the bathroom.
It's like it's a straight tunnel
it's
down.
Long and skinny.
And
the bathroom is tiny.
Yes.
Like uncomfortably tiny. Like for a large person, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
How.
But so it's skinny, and it alternates. But one room will have the bed right up against the window, and then the next room it'll be back. But people I talked to, the ones like us that had the bed right up against the window, there's literally, I think I measured it, it was like 13 inches to get around the bed to go out the balcony. And on top of that, the bed rail, the
frame,
the bed frame was exposed. And I still have a bruise right here because anytime going in or around that bed, I would always hit my knee. Always. And she would say, well, just be careful. And then we were up on the deck and someone mentioned it. And I went, hey, how many people have hit their knees on their bed frame? And everybody went, rah!
The definition of, what's the saying? Like when you don't learn from your mistakes.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Whatever. Google that.
Yeah. Trying to think what else.
Did we even do buffet on Mardi Gras? On the first trip?
I don't think we did. I don't even think I went in there.
Yeah.
Oh no, I went in there. We did on the last day. Yes, we did breakfast on the last day, I think.
Yeah.
Was the only time.
And that was the day they didn't have bacon out.
I think I maybe did get a salad there once.
Was it bacon every other day, or what did they do?
I think that Carnival's still doing the every other day bacon.
Okay, and then they just had chicken sausage, but then I saw somebody doing a review and they had pork sausage, so maybe they go back and forth on that also.
Shaq's.
Oh, Shaq's Big Chicken. 100% thumbs up.
Mardi Gras, that is the bomb.
It is the bomb.
It is. And everybody says it's great, and they ain't lying.
And never ran into long waits there either.
Nope.
And
that chicken was so good.
Yeah, and I think because they have so many different places to eat, that the lines are...
Yeah. Except for the sandwich shop.
And then every time I was by there, it was never open. So the hours were kind of mysterious to me as when the deli thing was open.
Well, and then, let's talk about nighttime eating in general, though. It's a problem.
On every line.
On all of them.
It's like, do they not realize there are people after 9 o'clock that would like to have something besides pizza to eat?
Right. Now, they do, in the Guy's Pig and Anchor had that, like, midnight buffet. I don't think it was quite midnight, maybe.
Oh, they did?
We went to it.
A midnight buffet?
It was like 11. They had a little buffet on the side.
Oh, they had just they were closing it down right when we got there.
No, they were opening it right when we got there. You don't remember that? You're old.
I remember one time we went to Pig and Anchor, and I couldn't go up and get seconds because they literally just shut it down, and there was cold.
Because it's only open for like an hour.
Okay.
Oh no, that was the old-fashioned barbecue on.
The other ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
On Carnival Liberty.
But those are not branded as Guys.
But it's basically the same thing.
It's the same. Okay,
they have the same sauce.
Right.
And that was at lunchtime.
Oh yeah, because that Pig and Anchor area, it's a cool part of the ship. They have their own brewery. You can see the brewery
and
going
they do a
on
lot of
there.
Trivia back there.
You get a feeling kind of like just a regular bar, sports club. They did trivia there.
TVs.
Just really, really a great area just to go and hang out. We had so much fun playing, what was it, Nate Guess That Tune or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were doing
a lot of the musical trivia games.
And on the playback, it was they were doing whatever the category was. It was like just rock and roll classics, like
something.
Some metal and like
80s
people.
Or 90s.
So when they're going back and saying what it was and they're playing the song, the whole room's just screaming. I got a video of that too, yelling and singing along, and just a real good time there.
Right.
That's one thing Carnival's great at is different things going on like all of the time. Yeah.
Activities all the time.
That make you thunderstruck.
Choose fun. Choose fun. What else do I have here? Food.
The water slides look fun. Did not do them, but they looked fun.
Yeah.
Their miniature golf course was really cool. It was very big.
Yeah. Back to cabins. Those Ocean View cabins, they're nice and wide and we know what to expect with them. They just need updates. Like, like the color schemes and stuff are dated. The TVs are like this big.
Yeah.
And there's a perfectly big wall space right in front of the bed that they could put like a bigger flat screen and not have to put it in that little cubby space.
Room service is really good as usual.
Yeah, the
attendants.
The room attendants are always so
nice
and amazing. Like,
and they remember everybody's name.
Wow.
they after that first day, they got to be back in their little room going.
Right? It's like, how do they?
I can't even remember her name.
Shut up. Let's see. They just need refurbished. We talked about the smell. The Carnival, the medium-sized ships, had decent casinos, like except for that. Oh, you already talked about the Blackjack game, the 25. They didn't have any $15 3-2 blackjack.
Yeah, then the other one they had it was which is different from the blackjack games are different from Royal to Carnival. Carnival, your circus game of blackjack, the 6-5 blackjack, was a $6 minimum bet. You could bet 5 on the square, but then you could put $1 on the side bet as long as it equaled $6. I did not find that out though in the Mardi Gras until like the last day though. Mm-hmm. Oh no, they had Mardi Gras had a $5.
Oh yeah, the minimum was $5 for that.
For the lucky ladies.
Yes, that's right. And I was
lucky ladies instead of $1 had to have a $5 bet out there, but I did not realize that it could be part of.
You could put 10 and 5.
Yeah.
That's what it was. On the $15 table, you could bet 10 and 5. Oh, they didn't have a $15 table. Never mind. Sorry.
On the 6-5 table.
Oh, the minimum was
it
15 on the 6-5 table. Is that what it was?
I'm pretty sure it was a $5.
I know. Because I played with you for a little while, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I put 10 in the circle and
But why would you put
5
10?
on the. Because it was a $15 table.
No, that was on this last ship.
It was.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, they didn't have the best blackjack games that we like.
And video poker is horrible on any cruise ship. I don't know why the cruise lines treat video poker players like they live in the ghetto or something, because there are a lot of video poker advantage players, and I talked to many of them. It's like they don't touch video games on a cruise ship because the odds are definitely not in your favor. The way they change the odds are, you're like getting up into almost slot machine areas.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
I typically use jacks or better, and the best jacks or better game is called 9-6 odds, and they were 6-5 odds, and it didn't matter how much you bet. On Royal Caribbean, if you increase your bet per credit, you'll get slightly better odds.
But
on
their
Carnival,
low was 25 cents.
On Carnival, it didn't matter if you're betting 25 cents or $5. It was always that 6-5 payout.
The Royal ship didn't have the 10-cent ones either. It started.
Carnival did have 10 cents.
Yeah, they did.
But there's no way to get good odds.
Yeah, no.
On any
even
of those
like
games.
On Ultimate X.
Oh, and it was even worse on Carnival, because if you've been on a Carnival ship and you're a video poker player, they'll say bet 10 credits, because usually the max bet is 5 credits to get the big payoff. On their ships, you have to bet 10. So typically a video poker player will bet max, which is 5 credits, to get the 4,000 Royal Flush. Well, you don't get that on Carnival unless you're betting 10 credits. So you have to bet twice as much to get a low odds game. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It is ridiculous. Okay. Trying to make sure we got all the basics covered.
With the casino, there were lots. I saw the most hand pays I've probably seen.
On Mardi Gras.
And on the other ones too. But yeah, there was a lot of hand pays on Mardi Gras, which maybe they've loosened them up.
I don't know. Okay.
Main dining room on Liberty.
Well,
that was the one that was on point. What you got?
Oh yeah. Food. You want to go back to food?
Sure.
Yeah, Liberty of the Seas.
Liberty of the Seas had the best, most efficient, quickest main dining room.
Great service.
So many times you go to the main dining room and you're like, well, is this going to be an hour or an hour and 45 minutes? How long is it going to be? But that staff on Liberty, it was like,
kept it coming.
It just, you get done with something.
Like, you didn't feel rushed.
No, you didn't feel rushed.
They kept it coming. And we were at a table with 2-3 other couples. And everybody was doing their thing and not all showing up at the same time. And
And again, when you experience stuff like that, take the time. We talked to the maitre d', told them how on point it was, and they really, really do appreciate it. The maitre d' asked me what table I was on, and so that stuff management does pay attention to.
Yeah, they were doing a great job. Okay. Do we want to talk about Liberty of the Seas a little bit?
Yeah, but real quick on the main dining room though, it took me a couple days to figure it out, because we were all done with our dessert and everything, and then one night I said, well, don't they do the show still? You have to stay till the very, very end if you want to see the show. But again, why people want to throw food from their napkin all over the room.
People, stop doing that. Just stop.
I mean, I didn't realize it for years, but just think about it. You sat there dumping stuff into your lap, and then they make you stand up and wave it all around.
It's disgusting.
Liberty, you said.
Yeah, so we just got off today of Royal Caribbean Liberty of the Seas. And we've been on Liberty of the Seas before, out of Galveston once.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's a fun. You take a ship out of Galveston, those people in Texas know how to have a good time. Even like the older people are having a good time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was actually a Texas country music cruise or something, though. It was some kind of
there was a fairly big group that was and the line dancing thing, because all the girls had the boots and the skirts.
Because it's
but it was fun.
Music. Anyway. So it wasn't a new ship to us, and but we did have a junior suite cabin,
Mm-hmm.
which was a casino comp. It's a great cabin.
Oh my gosh, it was the best. Now we've had other junior suites that didn't have the walk-in closet, right?
The only other junior suite we've ever had was on Carnival Paradise.
Okay. But this junior suite on Liberty of the Seas has not a big, but it's a walk-in closet. So it's another room. So if someone else wants to change, it's big enough to change in there.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to be cramming stuff on all of your shelves. You can just throw it all in the closet.
No, but even if you had a toddler, you could put the pack and play in there,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd have their own.
Shut the door, seal it with tape.
Anyway, it's
great room.
It's a nice feature. It helps. It does a lot to help. There's no clutter.
Because we first got in there, and I'd say to Chantel, I said, "Where do you put your clothes?" Because it's just the desk and drawers, and she's like, "Oh, honey, look." It's like, "Oh, wow." And a tub.
Yeah.
And
then the bathroom has a full-size tub. So I highly recommend if you have a family and you just figure out a way to afford it and get the junior suite if you're going on Royal Caribbean, because it's way worth it.
I figured out where they got the room for the walk-in closet, because the junior suite we had on Carnival, the tub had its own separate room. Remember?
No, that's a different cabin category altogether. That is a deluxe ocean view cabin that has that extra half bathroom. Yeah, totally different.
But this one has a tub. It takes a long time to fill, though. It's a very deep tub. And the water pressure, as other people have said in their vlogs, the water pressure is very poor. But
I did discover this morning.
Because my problem was you get in there and the water comes out slow. Even though you're standing in a big bathtub, you still have to be pressed up against the shower.
Wall.
So tell folks what you found it.
So on the back of the shower head is like a lever. And when you push it, it changes the, what do you call
intensity or the spray. And
from a spray to
strong
like
enough
a
to
stream.
Get out into the tub area.
Probably.
Hard travel. I wonder if he knows about that, because I've seen him step into those.
But that's not his problem. His problem is he's too tall.
Right.
We don't have that problem.
Because it's 4 inches. It's probably 4 inches above the
Yeah, it is a
floor of the
really high
bathroom.
lip. If you're mobility challenged, that you're not going to be able to get in that tub. Honestly.
And the vanity in the bathroom was really, I like the glass vanity, lots of storage space.
Cabinet doors.
The toilet had plenty of room on either side of it.
Yeah, nice bathroom.
The lighting was great in the room. Mardi Gras, though.
It had really good lighting.
And what else? Dealing with electricity.
Oh, yes. All the
USB jacks everywhere.
Next to the bed.
Next to the bed.
Yeah.
I think at one time with it, we had like 6 things all charged.
Yeah. So the worst were the 2 smaller Carnival ships, which only had one U.S. outlet and 1 European outlet.
And what's the advantage you do?
So I had bought a U.S. adapter that had
3
USBs. It had USBs, regular plugs, and USB-C.
Yes.
That you could just plug directly into.
We did discover, though, that those adapters, somewhere in the translation, if you plug a whole bunch of stuff in, it's not enough power to charge your devices with.
Yeah. But it then gives you, now you have more outlets, more than 1 outlet. And then I bring another adapter for the regular outlet that has like 3 U.S. plugs on it. Too.
Which Liberty ship are we discussing right now? Do we move on to Royal Liberty?
You said something about the power, so we had.
But we had been talking about Royal's Liberty.
Now we're talking about Liberty of the Seas.
Okay, that was interesting in the roll-up on that. Did we arrive just before boarding, or how did I can't?
Probably about an hour at least.
So we did roll up a little late.
Yeah, but that one wasn't leaving until 4:30, so we had some time.
But right now, the parking garage is not
Fort
close
Lauderdale.
to.
I think it depends on when and stuff, but we were in the situation where it was parked in a different berth than it's even usually parked in.
Yeah, it was like Terminal 18, but the ship was at 19. So we dropped off our stuff. We rolled up, late, and it worked before. The porters were right there, took our stuff.
Yeah, that part was easy.
But then we had to go out, go down the road to the parking garage, and then get on a shuttle. So
that takes you back to the ship.
So Chantel suggests just do the off-site parking.
There's a really good off-site parking in Fort Lauderdale that I've used twice, I think. Maybe 3 times. Anyway,
Dana Casino?
The casino is in Dania Beach. The parking company is called Park by the Ports. I can't remember what their rates are. I know it's less per day than what they charge at the port, which actually that port isn't that expensive, but if I would have known...
We would have done that.
That I had to drop my bags off at the porter, get back in my car, drive a mile to the parking garage.
And then our carry-on stuff.
With our carry-ons.
Waste of time.
Yeah. I could have totally just done the Park by the Ports thing. They're really good. They're on point. Never had a problem with them. In fact, I've left them reviews both times.
And then it's a nice little casino in Dana Point, too.
Dania Beach, the casino
at
Dania Beach.
Dania Beach Casino. It's a nice little casino, so it can get you warmed up for some ship play.
So yeah. In fact, just that whole port is kind of a cluster with the guard gate.
Yeah, and then our videos of like going into the port and stuff, you'll see we've experienced before and told people. It is an industrial port. There are lots of refineries, oil terminals, gas terminals, and things like that. It's infrastructure.
It's hard to maneuver around, like find where your ship is.
So when you roll up, though, just to get in, you have to go through a security gate and have your ID ready, because the first time we did that a few years ago, we had to go through, find our ID. So you will be required to have your IDs, everybody in the car. You had to stop at the gate. They'll ask you, have any weapons in the car or anything like that. So if you do carry arms in your car, don't do that. But just they're pretty tight on security when you get into that particular port.
Yeah. So honestly, if we go back there, we're just going to do the offsite.
Yeah.
Now we did offsite.
On the first one, on Mardi Gras.
Was it Mardi Gras?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because it was 7 days.
Yes.
In Port Canaveral, which... Their parking is like $17 a day times 7 is a lot of money. So
like over $110, I think.
Yeah, so the offsite parking for that, I think monetarily is worth it. You didn't think the hassle factor was worth it, but
it just that particular offsite parking, the way they handled loading their shuttle buses was just redonkulous. Our driver is just a wonder. She's called Popeye, because she's probably 65, 70 years old. She's skinny, but her muscles are just and she's lifting these bags around, this little woman. But it was like only her was loading this giant shuttle bus, and there's 3, 4, 5 young guys walking around.
Like, why
aren't they helping her? They had us do something stupid. Everybody had lined up to get on the shuttle bus with their luggage, and then when they start boarding, they insisted everybody pick up their luggage and literally move it 4 feet this way.
Yeah, it was dumb.
And the name of that parking place is
Port Canaveral Parking.
It's Port Canaveral Parking, but if you Google that, you're going to find a lot of. It's not in Port Canaveral; it's in Merritt Island, but but Port Canaveral Parking.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay, so Liberty of the Seas. We got sidetracked by parking.
We got on board. We went through very quickly again.
Very quickly, and we got there just in time. They were about to shut down the Diamond and Suite line, but
then again, it didn't really matter because there was nobody there.
So quick.
And that was the other funny thing, when on the second Carnival ship, the day we got off Mardi Gras, Carnival announced that priority boarding was now back for Platinum. So the next week, I can't wait to just breeze through, not have the hassle. But we did the roll up late thing.
So we haven't had
It turned out there's nobody there. So the platinum boarding really.
Yeah. So Liberty of the Seas, you know, the ships are completely different than the medium-sized Carnival ones. It's a similar size, though.
Similar size, but the
layout.
They were the first ones where Royal Caribbean went to the midsection where you want the main hallway with interior rooms.
Instead of an atrium, it's a
promenade.
Promenade.
I
said promenade. You say too many.
So we get into our room though, on Liberty of the Seas, this wonderful junior suite.
Yeah.
As soon as we come in the door, and I think we got a YouTube short on it. Tell them what happened.
Yeah, I look over, and it looks like someone's been in my bed.
Someone's been sleeping in my bed.
Seriously, it was like
the covers
one
were
side
pulled
was
back.
all pulled back and tousled.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like,
what's going on? And we're looking around. The room's obviously prepared.
Yeah.
All the things are out. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then so when our cabin steward came up with us,
he's like, it was. 3 times he's like, it was like this when you came. Yes, it was like. It's like it was. I promise you, it was made up.
And then either he or you figured out probably what happened.
So you know how now they put the keys on the outside of the door instead of giving it to you when you check in the terminal. We think probably what happened is somebody went to the wrong room. And, you know, when you go to a hotel or, you know, you do the bed test.
Who are the people in Vegas?
Yeah.
What's their channel name?
You're killing me.
But they're in Vegas all the time.
And they do the bed test.
And they do the bed test. But I almost went into the room because I would just want to lay down after going through that, you know.
But anyway, somebody had pulled the covers back.
Realized they were in the wrong room, probably.
And then at some point, whoever was with them probably looked at the keys and saw that.
Wait a minute.
The name on the key was not them. So that's probably, you know, that's probably what happened. But he just redid it for us.
Very nice guy too.
Yeah,
very
super nice guy. But
he was from Bali.
Nice balcony. Too. There's 2 loungers, a regular sized table, and
regular sized table, 2 chairs.
You could eat out there.
2 loungers. Frankly, though, it's about 1 lounger too many. I ended up stacking one on top of the other.
Move around and stuff, though.
Or if you're going to be entertaining, you've got people out there, and you can have a table and some chairs and room to walk around and mingle. But with the 2 full size loungers, it again gave you that little cramped feeling. But once I moved the other and put the 1 lounger on top of the other,
you just stacked them up.
Yeah.
Because we weren't really using them.
In the bed, I had plenty of room to walk around it and not injure your shins and knees.
But no outlets next to the bed.
Yeah.
The lighting was kind of bad.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it too to you during the cruise. It's like cruise ships need to do better lighting in the rooms. Like being able to choose. Do you want brighter light? Do you want yellow light? You know.
Yeah.
Mood lighting. But the lighting, yeah.
Trying to think of what else. I mean, yeah, it's a nice room. But Liberty of the Seas, they have the Royal has the same problem. Royal has the same problem with late night food options.
Food options. Yeah.
Pizza or Cafe Promenade, little sandwiches.
And I hadn't been on Royal in a while, and so I went to do the pizza test. Carnival. Oh yeah, hands down.
Pizza is way better.
What makes the difference is the crust. Carnival has got just the crust to perfection. Royal Caribbean, it's a little more doughier. It's just, it's not the same experience. The ingredients, the toppings, you can have more toppings on the pizzas. And the ingredients themselves are really good, but it's just the crust. I think the mixture of sausage and cheese is different from Carnival.
Yeah. Carnival's pizza is definitely better. On the 2 weekend cruises that were a little bit more crazy, I didn't think were doing a good job of keeping the pizza area clean.
Well, that's the big difference between Royal and Carnival.
Yeah.
The cleanliness.
The food areas.
It was like Carnival went back before what was the food issues they always would have?
Before norovirus.
Yeah, it was like they got rid of the stuff they put in for norovirus. There was not a press to. A lot of hand sanitizers were out. If they were, Royal has hand sanitizers everywhere.
Oh my gosh!
Even dealers at the table, they would.
So many empty hand sanitizers on Carnival.
Just like the door. It's like the door. It was like 50. It was like 50-50. Is the door going to open?
Yeah.
Is the hand sanitizer going to have sanitizer in it?
Yeah. It was bad. The buffets were not kept. You know, because you drop stuff when you're putting it on your plate and it lands on the little thing.
Windjammer on Royal, when they started doing those stations, those are much, much better.
And the food, yes. We ate.
I don't like the line feel, you know?
Yeah, well, we actually ate lunch in the buffet on Royal the other day, and the food looked fantastic.
No, they had some roast beef there that just looked incredible.
Yeah, it was hard to decide what to eat because it all looked so good. The one exception being their salad bar.
Yeah, that
was really lame.
It was like what, 3 feet wide?
Yeah,
and 2 things deep.
Yeah, and it didn't. I mean, I think a staple on a salad bar, 2 things that were not on this salad bar would be tomatoes and cucumbers.
Oh, they didn't have tomatoes and cucumbers.
No, and no croutons.
And then
they only had like 4 kinds of dressing.
And you've run into issues with the types of dressing before, right? Like diet or
none of them. That's everywhere.
Yeah.
So find like light or fat-free dressings in a lot of places.
In fact, they didn't have Thousand Island dressing, and I learned that because if you've watched, you know that I am always in search of the perfect Reuben sandwich, which is very elusive. Over 50 years, I've not found the perfect one. But this one is not a Reuben sandwich. Do not get the Reuben sandwich. Because there's no Thousand Island dressing put on it. And she said, well, just go get some Thousand Island from the salad bar. There's no Thousand Island. So biggest Reuben fail literally of my life.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong about that.
But I feel like the Liberty of the Seas is holding up pretty well. Like everything was working.
Yep.
You know.
I was kind of doing the inspection, kind of like, they've done. There was some cleaning that they could have done, but it wasn't as bad as Carnival was.
Yeah, but and there weren't broken things like out of order or anything like that. Their casino they had a better table game for you.
Hang on a minute before we go to the casino. I want to go back to some of the things they do in food service on Royal. Okay. That's better.
I'm gonna. While you're doing that,
getting off was really easy too. This weekend.
Oh yeah, this morning.
the getting off the Royal ship.
Except we had to get on that stupid shuttle.
Oh, except for the stupid. Even that though went fast.
I know.
That was not too bad. We got the porter thing, but leaving the ship, and they did early a self-assist departure at like 6 a.m. So if you did have to get going early, that would probably be a breeze also. Boy, I'm trying to think. Is there really anything else? The Flow Rider, that's always fun. I just like to go watch. We've got a video on, they had an expert hour session, and there was these young teenagers and 20-somethings that were really cutting it up on standing up on the Flow Rider. There will be a video that you'll see down below. We stopped at NASA. We didn't talk about NASA or Perfect K. Perfect K, or what's it called? A perfect day at Coco Cay. One incredible island. I hadn't been before. Had you been before? Had you been to Coco Cay before?
Yes.
Yeah, that is just a wonderful, wonderful place. Had a great time. So many different things to do. The water park. If you've got young people or enjoy that, the water park just looked amazing. The giant one, you have to climb all the way up, though. How far could have you gotten up those steps? Story or two?
On that water slide?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Elevators were wonderful on Royal's Liberty of the Seas. Never issues waiting for elevators, even during rush hour.
Well, even on the Carnival. I mean,
only Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is the only one where it's like really
elevator problem. We could do another session just talking about the ports or something.
Well, too, and then when I get together the bigger videos, we could do like a director's cut and pause and stop, and it will refresh us too, because literally 4 cruises in 5.5 weeks.
Yeah. Bimini, I think it's one of my favorite ports, honestly. A lot of people don't like
blast in Bimini.
But I love driving over there.
And they have a resorts world. That's the big new casino in Las Vegas. They have a little resorts world, little hotel and a little casino. And if you're a serious gambler and you're going to Bimini, take your bankroll to the casino. They got $10 minimum, 3-2 blackjack. The video pokers, the odds are 9-6, 8-5. So if you want to go after some real money with good odds, go to that little Resort Worlds casino in Bimini. We did the typical, we always like try to do our own self-guided stuff and save money on excursion costs. Never get an excursion on the ship, unless you're worried about not making it back or something like that. But we just rented a golf cart. It was interesting finding the golf cart because Chantel had been there a few months ago, and you got a golf cart
for the beginning of the restart
for $60, right?
And people still, if you go online right now, people still say it's $60 for the whole day.
Well, we had people who were charging us $100, or we finally talked them down to $80, right?
Yeah, I got somebody to give me one for $80. It was a nice golf cart too.
Yeah, and so we just got the golf cart, went where we wanted to go, and had a great time. Just beautiful, beautiful ocean. And you do drive on the left-hand side, and the real danger in driving on the left-hand side is crossing the street as a pedestrian. In Cayman Islands, I've seen so many people almost get hit by cars because it's not like look left, look right, look left. It's look right, look left, look right, look left, look right.
I gotta feed these dogs, and we gotta figure out.
Well, come over here and say goodbye, and bring chimichanga.
He's probably wondering why I'm not finishing his food. Hey, Biggs, come here. Let's see, Mama. Come here. Oh, it's you. No, but Mom, he wants to sit with Mama.
Oh, but Mama, I love you so much. I want to sit by that man, though. I like him now. No. He's my friend. Can you say goodbye to him? Say like, share, subscribe to my mama's channel. And we're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all at SeaRollers. Don't forget, please, like, subscribe, share. Oh, Brandon, the weekend cruiser, was on our better cleanliness.
Yeah.
On Royal Caribbean. Now you're going to get to the casino.
Yes, and I just wanted to mention their slot machine selection is from 20 years ago, for the most part. I mean, the new games they do have are not popular games.
I see us all about the games I never know. And how many machines were on the different types of buffalo machines? You know how many? Zero.
They didn't have buffalo or the Wonder Four Towers or any kind of buffalo.
None of that.
And they also didn't have
a Heidi.
Yeah, they didn't have the Heidi games.
Now they did have them on a multi, but it wasn't just a machine dedicated.
Yeah, and it was an old, just the chairs. This is a problem on Royal Caribbean. No, Royal Caribbean in particular.
The chairs are old.
They never switch out the furniture, so it's super uncomfortable.
Was it there you had the trouble with your feet hitting the ground, or was that on
Well, no,
ship?
Carnival, every chair in Carnival, like the dining room or anywhere you go, I'm short, right? Hashtag short people problem. But the chairs are they're like an inch too high for me, so my feet don't touch.
Guess what I discovered though?
What?
After you had told me that, I'm playing and I scoot back because I want to kind of relax.
Yeah.
When I scooted back into the chair, my feet had trouble touching the ground.
Floor. Yeah, it's just uncomfortable when that chair is on the back of your leg.
You would think after 30 years they could get some stools designed that are more ergonomic, that are more comfortable for everybody.
But let me tell you though, this casino on Liberty of the Seas, like some of the chairs that used to be able to adjust the up and down, now as soon as you sit down they just
It's like they really treat
Or-
casino players like
second class.
it's like not like they don't bend over backwards to make it a fun enjoyment, because we ran it. It wasn't as bad as Royal Caribbean, but Carnival's casinos were a dirty, filthy mess. You would literally have a drink sitting on a machine for an hour, and it's got fruit in it, cigarette butts in it. One game might have 2 filled ashtrays, and it's like, hey, why don't you get the guys that do the Lido and the pool deck during the day that are there like as soon as the cup's emptied or an ashtray's got one there. Have those people work at the casino. I don't want to sit down at a game and then have to move a stinky ashtray and a cup and everything. And they had attendants. This is on Carnival. Royal was a lot better, but there'd be attendants going around, like wiping stuff down, but the same guy wouldn't pick up a glass. It was nasty at times.
Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, Liberty of the Seas, I mean, like the people that work in the casino are super nice. You know, that's not a problem. The slot machine selection is terrible. The chairs are terrible.
Now, do they have buffalo though on Carnival casinos?
Yeah,
They
all
did?
of them
Okay.
have. Everybody's got buffalo. I mean, like who? Who has heard of a casino without buffalo? Put it in the comments.
Right.
I never have.
The video poker in the Royal Casino is better than the video poker on Carnival, but it's only better because they don't have that crazy, you've got to bet 10 times to get the max bet credit and the big win. But it's just the normal 5 max bet. But their odds for 25, they don't have 10%, but at 25 a credit and 50 cents a credit, it's still a 6-5 payout. It's when you get to $1 to $2, it goes to 7-5, and then if you want to bet $5 to $10, which is a $25 or $50 max spin, then you will get a decent odd of like 8-5, and that's perfectly acceptable. I mean, it wasn't 8-6, but 8-5 is a lot better than 6-5. And if you're video poker, you know what that means. If not,
Go look it up.
And then here's the big difference for blackjack players. When we were on the Carnival ships, we brought like a $1,500 bankroll for the 2 of us to play off of, I think. But that's not enough to play the $25 minimum real blackjack game, which.
But they had good slot machines.
But the other thing though on Carnival is it was a $25 minimum, and you could only split twice, and you couldn't double down. Here's where, if you're a blackjack player and you want a super good game, like one of the best games outside of Vegas or Gulfport or a land casino, is Royal. Their blackjack game was a $15 minimum. You could split 4 times, and a lot of casinos don't allow you to do that. You could split 4 times, and then you could double down on each of those. It wasn't just one card. If it's aces, then you get 1 card, but you could split 4 times. You could double down on each of those. So it's a super. Oh, and they use a shoe. It's an 8-deck shoe.
Yeah. And shuffle.
Here's the funny thing: for an advantage player, someone that really knows how to win at blackjack, they play 7 decks out of the 8. So if you're good at counting things, that is also a tremendous game. But I never do that to the ship casinos because I want them to love me. But it is a playable game.
Playable.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's an exploitable game.
Yeah. Or I mean, and I might play once every other cruise for a session or something.
And use your strategy card. I used a strategy card for 5 years.
I just flat bet the 15, and I always put $1 on the lucky ladies. You know,
that's like her. That's a slot machine.
Gives me a little excitement.
But it's a real good game.
Yeah.
If you have your basic strategy card, and make sure you have a strategy card that's for that particular game, like 8 decks, 6. That's all different strategy. But have that card, do a flat bet, play the side things, and you can sit there with probably. You sat down for the first night. Actually, so Carnival gave cash on the Liberty and the Freedom. They just handed her the cash.
Yeah.
We got, how much cash did you get on Liberty of the Seas and Freedom of the Seas? I mean, Carnival Freedom and Carnival Liberty.
Carnival Freedom and
Carnival's casino gives more cash, by the way, too.
$500.
And I got $250.
Yes.
And that was paid in cash to us. Royal Caribbean, they ask you, if you play slots or if you play table. If you play slots, they put it on your card. But if you play table games, then they give you a house chip worth that. And then once you play through those chips, so I started the first evening with $75 in free chips. Brought $150 on top of that just to have to go back and forth. Played the entire night. Closed the place down at like 4 a.m. And was actually up a couple hundred. But you can just play for a really long time at that type of game if you're being smart. If you're losing, don't increase your bets. If you're winning, don't increase your bets because you have no money. Just play that flat bet, and the important thing is to spend time at the tables. Time at the table. I always look for tables where they're very full, very crowded. People are questioning what to do and everything because it slows the game down. If you can get a game down to only 30, 45 hands an hour, on Royal, they stop to reshuffle the deck, go to the bathroom a lot, but you can make your whole evening just go on without having huge swings up and down like you do with slot machines. And you'll meet friends. There's a lot of people, like on the Carnival trips, by the end of the trip, I had so many friends from just playing the Blackjack table every night, and everybody was having, people were having more fun in the casino and all over the ship on the Carnival ships than Royal. Royal, I really, for the first time, noticed a huge difference, just in the terms of the fun.
Having less fun?
And being a smoker, I mentioned earlier, Royal does not have like a smoking section. Number one, they put it right along the Lido deck, which kind of defeats the purpose of putting the smoking area away from where the general public is. I mean, if I'm on the Lido deck and I don't like smoking, there's smokers like literally lining the and they line you up like you're just sitting there. Carnival has separate spaces, and they have these wicker conversation pits so you feel comfortable in sitting down next to some people. They're spacious, but it forces you it doesn't force you, but it enables you to have conversation. Whereas Royal, some people might be 4 or 5 chairs down, and they're talking about something, but it's not a relaxing sort of thing. It's like, I'm going to sit here, smoke my cigarette,
Yeah. Or people just sit.
Yeah. But on the Carnival ships, man, people that were in the smoking lounge, we'd be up there all night long, and I got to know so many people, and just it was really nice talking with so many people from so many different cultures and communities, and that was the demographic of the Carnival ship. Just a lot of different kind of people, and it was just fun. It really is a fun ship.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time up there.
But I came home many mornings very early.
Yeah.
Bar
Caribbean.
service. The free drinks in the casinos are different. Carnival is very specific.
You have to be playing actively if you have the free drinks.
You can't go to the bar in order. You have to wait. So
and they bring you a ticket every time.
Yeah, which is Carnival. They always bring you the receipt at $0, and we always tip. Now the advantage plays when you first get on board. 2 things: if you're a player, you introduce yourself to the casino house, the assistant host. You know their names, their children, where they're from. Become their best friend. You do the same thing with bar service. What I do is I kind of keep an eye out at the first evening and see which bartenders are having fun, smiling, interacting with the people, might know how they're cheering for them. Find that sort of bartender, make your order. Again, where are you from? What's your name? How do you pronounce it? Got any brothers and sisters? How many contracts are you? When you get to go home, spend time with your family, and make an imprint on them. And then I always write $5, $10, even $20 tip up front, and just you'll be fine. Because but Royal though, you can go to the bar.
When the bar's open,
they don't bring you a receipt though, which to me is Royal is costing their employees tips.
Yeah. Because
you would have to have cash on you, or both Royal and Carnival you can give chips as your tip.
Yeah.
But with Carnival giving you the receipt, I just think they're.
On Royal, you always have to have a $1. You have to have $1 bills with you.
But the bartenders aren't, the waiters aren't even expecting it. They'll just drop off your drink and take off.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I always tip $1 a drink usually.
Yeah, because like in this last trip, we just got Her name was Bern, and she was from Manila in the Philippines. And I've always got stories about the Philippines to talk to people from there. And her name was Bern, and she said, "Yeah, like sunburn." And I always try to remember their names. They remember yours, and always try at least to remember theirs. But the last 2 days, when I was in the casino, she would actually come up to me. I never had to seek her out. If she was walking by, she'd like, "Are you fine, Mr. Duck?"
Yep. Main dining room.
Is there anything else about the casinos, though?
Just
well, Royal had the $15 game. We already talked about that.
Talked about that.
And the video pokers were a little bit better.
I think we talked about all the casino stuff.
The hosts were different. And it's individual personalities, but again, and all ship casinos, their speaker system stinks. They need to have as good of the speakers as they have in the nightclub.
Yeah.
Not like cheap Radio Shack bullhorn speakers.
Yeah. I think the most interactive hosts were on
Mardi Gras, right?
No. The I keep forgetting which one was which. The Carnival Freedom. The 4-day. Because they actually made it a point to come and say hi to me on the first day,
and a couple of times she stopped by me and she gave us a free specialty
that's
menu.
the only one
items.
where we got free specialty menu, but we did get a bottle of wine on the first one too, so on Carnival Liberty, but
you got the free specialty menu and a bottle of wine too or something. No. We had on,
but they made it a point, like, they actually sought out players instead of
because I was playing
to seek them out.
Blackjack with this couple from Charlotte. They were just so much fun to play with, but they didn't know how ship casinos work or anything. And she came up to him. Unfortunately, he wasn't. I don't think they were aware that the main dining room was like free, that you could eat in the main dining room. So she was coming up and trying to explain to him they didn't have any room in the steakhouse, but she would make the specialty steak and lobster or whatever that you can buy in the main dining room at an upcharge. He didn't understand what happened, so then she came and told her, because of Chantel's play, I'm giving you this. She's the points chaser. So we went to the dining room, and she had told me you have to mention it to the waiter that the casino is giving you the option. Well, the next day I said to Marcus, I said, "So what did you go for, a steak and lobster?" That's what I had. And he's like, "No, I had the pepper steak, and my wife had this, and it was just off of the regular menu, and he didn't realize it." But I didn't tell him. I just, he thought,
no point. Nothing to say. But let's talk about the main dining room though, on the Royal ship compared to Carnival.
Number one, I've always been in favor of it, but my time dining is not your time; it's the ship's time now, because I think so many people take advantage of it.
It was terrible. Yeah, we're not doing that again.
We go down to
I was actually going to talk about how good it was, but you went the other way.
Well, I'm Mr. Negative. The glass is, I want to complain and give suggestions on what to do to make things better. Let me run this ship, darn it. So we go down, we have my time dining at like 7:15 or whatever. We go down there, and there's this huge cluster going all the way around it. So we're like, oh, well, this must be the...
people who don't have a reservation.
Yeah. And so we go around, and it's like, no. The line for nobody that has no reservations is like, 20 feet long. And my time is not your time, it's their time, because they tell you what time you're going to eat, regardless of what your time was. So we switched.
Yeah, we didn't eat that night. I ate late night. I got some sandwiches from the Heart Cafe, and we were just like, we weren't going to deal with that cluster right then. And then the next day I went and had them switch us to the early dinner, and that was the best thing.
And I think the other thing too, which again, I was at I didn't like the scheduled dinner, but after that experience, and then the great experience we had on Carnival, is when you have the scheduled dining, I like sitting at the same table with the same people, because it's always really awkward. But when you have scheduled dining, there's only that awkwardness like the first night, and then you get to know everybody and you get a feeling for what I can talk about, what I can't, you know, and then you can enjoy the whole week with them. But if you have my time dining, you're having to go through that whole, and that just puts me a little on edge. You eating with strangers every single
Well,
night.
and having a different weight team every night,
Right?
To when like
Because they can get in a flow too. I think that's why we had point service on that one time.
Yeah.
But when she did that, you said that we could sit. We didn't mind because she switched.
Yeah, they asked us
then
if we would mind just sitting at a shared table, and I said no.
We got one of the best tables we'd had. It was just a 2-top. It was against.
Well, it was a 4-top against the window.
But there was nobody else came, so we had this little table over this window, bay window that overlooked the water,
like a quieter section.
Yeah, and it was in the back of the restaurant. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
The food, yeah. Who would you give the kudos to the food?
Royal Caribbean for sure.
You think so?
Yes.
Their creme brulee was pudding.
Okay, besides the creme brulee,
Carnival had the best creme brulee on all 3 ships. It was consistent, and it was that top part was like rock candy. Crack that open.
But
creme brulee on Royal is different. They don't have the crusty top.
The quality of the food, the
bread.
You give you the bread,
and they let it stay at your table. So if you want more, you just
they still put linens on the table.
That was the thing, the glass tabletops, because that caused the problem on the last.
No, they're not glass.
It doesn't have paper or it's.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, there's no.
It's glass. It's a glass tabletop.
There's
no tabletop. It's a smooth glass tabletop.
Okay.
And we had rough seas. The last Carnival ship, the Freedom, we had rough seas like the entire weekend.
Yeah.
And the one night there, it was so bad, they put some barf bags out, but the girls we were sitting with, they had a bottle of wine and it starts moving across this very sleek tabletop. But yeah, you're right. Royal does have the linen still, and they have the elaborate utensils laid out.
It's more
fancy. It's like the Carnival used to be like.
But I also think the presentation was much better. On Carnival, every single night the side vegetable is broccoli, right?
Everybody, if you love broccoli, let's hear it in the comments.
I like broccoli. But and they downsized their portions, I think, a little bit too far on Carnival.
Yes. And
that's since I've been on, like a year ago when they first, at the beginning of the restart.
In Carnival, they had lobster nights on Mardi Gras. Did they have lobster nights on the other two? Or is it like Royal, they don't have it?
It's too short. They
and
only
that's the
do
same
it
with
on,
Royal now too, right?
Yeah, I think it has to be 5 nights or more now before they do a
and then there is now a limit. We used to always say, hey, can I have 5 or 6? But it's a limit of 2.
Or you can pay extra for another one or something. Yeah.
But there's a huge difference. When we had the free specialty order from the casino, we both got the steak and lobster. Different lobster comes out of there than is on usually in the main dining room.
Yeah.
Really well prepared.
It was better. But I saw the people next to us on the Royal who ordered the steakhouse selection.
With $34.99,
it looked way better than the ones that we got on Carnival.
Yeah, it was a bigger tail.
I mean, just the whole plate. Because remember, all it was there was no side.
Right.
It was just the tail and the steak.
Yeah.
It
was an optical illusion too, because on Carnival, the tail was all curled up. So at first I thought it was a small lobster, but then when you uncurled it, it was bigger than what they have usually in the main dining room. Yeah. But you said the one on Royal was a lot better.
Just the presentation of what I saw.
Was it where it's on top of the shell and it's?
I don't know. Just the whole thing looked better.
And so if you do want to order lobster off the special menu on Carnival, it's a $25 upcharge. On Royal, it's a $34.99 upcharge, but the way she describes the size of the lobster is probably worth it.
Yeah, it probably would be worth it. I'm tired.
All right.
Final thoughts.
No comedians. Tell 'em.
Oh, Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean is just horrible with comedy. Number one, like on
it was bad.
the Oasis class, when we first did Oasis, I'm like, you have to make reservations for the comedy, and we did, and we get in the room. It's because it's like a conference center where 80 people can fit in there.
But at least they had it.
Well, but it wasn't that often, either.
Yeah.
The only attempt at comedy they had was a Jonathan Winters looking ventriloquist who was the unfunniest person in the world. Well, maybe he sounded like him, but it reminded me of Jonathan Winters on Johnny Carson, but just horrible.